Hello and welcome to Classlise. I'm Lili, and I'm really happy you're here with us today for another episode that I hope will help you start your day with more energy and a brighter mind.
And I'm Sante, and it's always great to have you joining us because listening to this podcast is a simple way to train your ears to understand native English more easily every time. So thank you for pressing play. Lili, how are you feeling this morning?
Sante today. I woke up and looked outside, and it was still a bit dark and cold. I have to admit, I felt like just pulling my blanket over my head and going back to sleep. But then I remembered we were recording this, and it made me smile because I knew we'd talk about mornings.
That sounds so familiar to me because I have those mornings too. Sometimes it just feels like the world is moving slowly, and it's hard to feel positive. But I think mornings have a special power. A positive morning can change everything.
I really believe that, and sometimes I forget how important the first hour of my day is. Sometimes I just rush to check my phone or emails, and I feel stressed before I even leave my bed. But other days, when I take things slow and focus on myself for a minute, the whole day feels better.
That reminds me of something I heard once. Someone said, "The way you spend your morning is how you spend your day." And I think there's some truth in that, because when I start my day with a small win, even something simple like making my bed or drinking a glass of water, I already feel a little proud.
Yes, that small win idea really works for me too. There's something about making your bed that just makes you feel like you're ready for what's next. Sometimes I do a little stretch after I stand up, and it wakes up my mind as well as my body.
Sometimes I just play a song I love while I brush my teeth. It's nothing special, but it puts me in a better mood almost instantly. It's strange how a little music in the morning can make the world feel a bit lighter.
I do that too. Sometimes I play music or a podcast and just let it fill the room. It helps me not think about the things I have to do right away. Instead, I can enjoy a slow moment and breathe.
I used to jump straight into my emails or social media as soon as I woke up, but now I try to wait at least 20 minutes before I check anything. It's amazing how that small change makes my mind feel more clear and less busy.
That's really smart because it's so easy to let technology control our mornings, and then suddenly we feel rushed and behind, even before we get dressed. Sometimes I put my phone across the room, so I have to get up and actually move my body.
I like that idea, although I'm not sure I could do it every day, because sometimes my alarm is my phone, and I'd probably just fall back asleep. But maybe I could try it on weekends and see if I notice a difference.
On weekends, I actually let myself slow down a little more. Sometimes I sit by the window with a warm drink and just watch the world outside. I think taking time to notice small things in the morning helps me feel more grateful for the day ahead.
That's such a peaceful way to begin, and gratitude is really powerful. Sometimes I write down 3 things I'm thankful for, even if they're small, like a good sleep or the sound of birds outside. It changes my mood and makes me notice good things all day.
Yes, I tried that last month, and at first it felt a little strange, but soon it became a habit. And now my brain just looks for positive things to notice, even before I start my real to-do list.
That reminds me, I used to think a positive morning had to be big or perfect, like waking up at 5 and running 10 kilometers, but now I think small things are enough. Sometimes, just opening the window and breathing in the fresh air is all you need.
I agree, and sometimes I find that if I start with too many big plans, I end up feeling tired before I even get started. So now I choose 1 or 2 simple things and let the morning be easy.
That's really wise because sometimes people talk about morning routines like they have to be complicated. But I think the best routines are the ones that fit your life and your energy.
Yes, I think the most important part is just being kind to yourself at the start of the day. If you wake up late, it's okay if you forget your plans. It's okay. Every morning is a new chance to start again.
That's true, and it actually helps to be a little flexible with your morning. Sometimes if I wake up late, I just do one thing to feel good, instead of my whole list. And that's enough to give me some energy.
You know, I used to feel bad if my morning wasn't perfect, but now I see it's really about the feeling, not the plan. If you start with something positive, you carry that feeling with you all day.
Exactly. And for me, a big part of a positive morning is not rushing. I used to always feel like I had to move fast and get everything done quickly, but now I take a minute to stretch or breathe before I start anything.
Stretching is something I love. I have this simple move where I just reach up as high as I can and then drop my arms slowly, and it feels like I'm waking up every part of myself. I even do it before coffee.
I think I'll try that tomorrow because I usually head straight to the kitchen and make coffee, but maybe my body needs a moment to catch up with my brain.
And speaking of coffee, I sometimes make a small ritual out of it. I choose my favorite cup and take a slow sip while looking outside. It's like my own little ceremony, and it makes a normal morning feel special.
That sounds lovely. My breakfast is usually quick, but I can see how making it special could change the mood. Maybe I'll try using a real plate and sitting at the table instead of rushing around the kitchen.
Eating breakfast slowly helps me start the day in a calm way. Sometimes I even light a candle for no reason, except to make things feel warm and peaceful.
That's so nice. I think sometimes we forget we can create small moments of beauty in our mornings, even if life is busy or the world outside is noisy.
Yes. And sometimes I pick out my clothes for the day while I'm eating breakfast. It sounds funny, but having one thing ready helps me feel more prepared. I even choose my socks on purpose if I want to feel lucky.
That's a good tip. Maybe I should try lucky socks too. Sometimes I just grab whatever is clean, but maybe if I pick with intention, I'll feel more ready for the day.
That reminds me, I sometimes leave a little note for myself by the mirror. Something simple, like "you can do this" or "smile today." It's silly, but it helps me when I feel nervous about my plans.
I love that idea. I've never done it, but maybe I could write a positive word on my hand just to see during the day. I think a small reminder like that could really lift my mood.
Some people find it helpful to move their body in the morning, like taking a walk or doing a few minutes of exercise. For me, even a short walk outside makes a big difference, especially if the sun is shining.
I wish I could say I exercise every morning, but honestly, I don't. But I do walk to the bus stop, and sometimes I use that time to notice what's around me. The color of the sky or people's faces. It makes me feel more awake.
That's a nice way to use your travel time. Sometimes I listen to something positive while I travel, like music or a short podcast. It keeps my mind away from stress and helps me start the day with a smile.
I think I'll try listening to something happy tomorrow because usually I just scroll my phone and then I feel more tired. But maybe if I hear a good story or song, I'll feel more excited about the day.
Sometimes the way we speak to ourselves in the morning is just as important as what we do. If I wake up and think today will be a good day, I notice more good things happening.
Yes, and I find that when I say something nice to myself, even quietly, it helps me be kinder to others too. It's like positive energy grows when you share it.
That reminds me of my friend who starts every morning by sending a kind message to someone. It's her way of spreading good feelings. And she says it always comes back to her during the day.
That's a beautiful habit. Maybe I'll try that too, because sometimes I get stuck in my own head. But if I reach out to a friend, it could help both of us.
Yes, and even if you live alone, you can still do something nice for yourself in the morning. I sometimes make my bed and then give myself a little smile in the mirror, like, "Well done, you started your day."
That's true. And I think celebrating small things in the morning is really important. Maybe it's just getting up on time or finishing breakfast, but those are wins, and they deserve a little celebration.
Some people make a to-do list for their morning, but I like to keep mine very simple. Just one or two things, like drink water and smile, or stretch and make the bed. It keeps my mind clear.
I tried making long to-do lists before, and I always felt stressed when I didn't finish them. So now I do what you do and pick just one important thing and let the rest follow.
That's the key, I think. And if you finish your one thing, you already feel successful. The rest of the day feels easier because you know you started well.
I notice that too. When my morning goes well, my meetings or work feel smoother. Even if things get busy later, I feel more ready to handle it.
Yes. And sometimes life surprises you, even with a good start. Maybe things go wrong, but I find I can handle challenges better if my morning is positive.
That's so true because a positive morning gives you a kind of shield against stress or bad news. It doesn't mean the day is perfect, but you feel stronger inside.
And sometimes a good morning is simply about making time for yourself. Even if it's just 5 minutes to breathe or look outside, I think everyone needs a little time to wake up slowly.
I agree, and I also find it helps to set a gentle alarm, something soft instead of something loud. It makes waking up feel less like a shock and more like a gentle start.
I used to have a loud alarm, and I would jump out of bed with my heart racing. Now I use a soft song, and it makes a big difference in how I feel.
That reminds me, I used to sleep with my curtains closed, but now I leave them a little open. So the morning light wakes me up naturally. It's so much nicer than a loud noise.
Yes, sunlight really changes everything. Even on a cloudy day, I open the window to let in fresh air, and it makes my room feel new. I think light is one of the best parts of morning.
I agree completely. I sometimes stand by the window and just watch the city waking up. It's peaceful, and it makes me feel connected to something bigger than myself.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And I think feeling connected in the morning makes it easier to feel good all day. Even small moments of peace are important.
Yes, and when you start your day with a positive mind, it's easier to share that mood with others, maybe at work or with your family, or even just a person you see on the street.
That's so true. Sometimes I just smile at someone on my way to work and they smile back. It's a small thing, but it makes both of us feel better. I think mornings are a chance to spread kindness.
I think you're right. And, even if your morning doesn't go as planned, you can always restart your day with a small positive action anytime, maybe with a deep breath or a fresh cup of tea.
Yes, I believe in that idea. Every morning is a new beginning. And if you need a second start later, that's okay too. As long as you try to come back to a positive place.
I think mornings teach us to be patient and gentle with ourselves. Sometimes you wake up tired or grumpy, and that's okay. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to start.
That's the best message for today. I think give yourself permission to begin again every day. Maybe your morning will be quiet or full of energy, but it's yours to create.
And if you ever feel stuck in a bad mood, just remember, you can always change your story. Sometimes all it takes is one small thing, a good song, a kind word, or a fresh start.
Yes, and maybe tomorrow morning you'll wake up and remember something from today and use it to make your day a little brighter.
I hope so. And I hope everyone listening feels encouraged to try something small and positive in their own mornings. Because even the smallest step can make a big difference.
Thank you for being with us today and for spending your morning or any time with us. Your listening really matters, and I hope you find some peace and inspiration in your day.
You've just listened to Classlise, where your ears lead your fluency. We're so grateful for your time and your trust.
Keep listening and take good care of yourself until we meet again. Remember, every morning is a new chance.
See you soon and have a wonderful day.